When the Man of Steel is sent hurtling back through time, it will be a unique chance to learn the origins of the mysterious Marilyn Moonlight. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superman issue number 10 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, the Superman with no name is already getting himself into all sorts of Wild West adventures alongside Marilyn Moonlight, who, thanks to her exposure to colored kryptonite at the hands of Dr. Farm and Mr. Graft at the end of the previous issue, is actually able to walk around in the daylight, where before she was only ever confined to fighting crime by night. Superman and Moonlight end up coming upon a wagon train that was brutally slaughtered, not with regular Wild West weapons either, but high-tech lasers. Clark notes how much he loved watching Wild West movies with his dad, Pa Kent, growing up, but actually being here where all of those movies was based is not what it's chalked up to be. It's a lot more violent. Worse still, Clark is at a major disadvantage. He's still suffering from his own kryptonite poisoning, and he can't wear his special battle suit around here lest he risks screwing with the timeline. Now, who exactly is running around this time period gunning people down with a laser? Well, it turns out it's none other than Tobias Manning, aka Terra Man. Never heard of this guy? Well, he's actually a pre-existing Superman villain from the 70s. Basically, he's a time-traveling cowboy who used advanced weaponry to fight Superman. He also just so happens to be the newest hired hand, getting paid by young Farm and Graft's mother to deal with their bandit problem. The bandit, of course, in this situation actually being Superman. The best part is that Manning isn't stupid. He actually remembers fighting Superman all of those times in the 70s and figures if he's right here right now, it's because he's trapped in this time period and needs to make use of his time machine. And of course, the only way they're going to settle their problems right here right now is with guns at high noon. Well, not guns in Superman's case, he still doesn't like those. But how exactly is Clark on the draw? Well, he doesn't need to be that good at all, because his plan basically involves just letting Terra Man shoot him a bunch and hoping that his super biology kicks on in. And thankfully for him, he managed to absorb just enough sun so that it's no longer a problem. Once he realizes that the battle isn't in his favor, Manning decides to run, instead setting his tracer bullets to target all the innocent people of the town. Luckily for Superman, he was only the distraction, and it was actually Marilyn Moonlight's job to grab Terra Man's time travel machine when no one was looking. They decide to let him sweat it out in this period's version of prison and come back for him later. Though before they decide to depart back to the present, Clark figures now is as good a time as any to actually ask Marilyn what the hell her origin is. And well, wouldn't you know it, in a lovely bit of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, apparently Superman just so happened to stumble across the very day that Marilyn decided to become a hero. Yeah, it turns out the bar woman that Manning was bullying this whole issue, yeah, that's actually Marilyn, meaning that her actions literally inspired herself. Ooh, don't you love a good old-fashioned time paradox? In the beginning, actually, Marilyn didn't have powers at all. She just had grit and the will to fight the forces of evil, including Graft and Farm's mother, who is just straight up a Wild Wild West villain. She spent years fighting the good fight in the city that would eventually one day be known as Metropolis. When she died, she did so surrounded by her friends and family. Unfortunately, her death was actually shorter lived than she would have hoped. You see, one day she just woke up finding herself resurrected in the modern day. She was essentially a ghost, but one made of science, not mysticism. She can only come out at night, and she figures that she's going to be trapped in this limbo of life and death until she can find the people who forcibly resurrected her. And Superman is pretty damn certain that the people behind this are the same people who have been behind everything the last few months, Graft and Farm. When Superman finally does manage to return to the present, he rushes to Supercorp to get Lois and everyone else up to speed on everything he's learned in the past. Unfortunately, as he learns from Lex's daughter, the building has already been taken over by, get this, the Lex Luthor Revenge Society, made up of characters we already know like Dr. Farm and Mr. Graft, as well as the Chained, Samuel Stryker, who I guess had a change of heart about joining the group, as well as a mysterious shadowy individual wearing one of Lex Luthor's old battle armors. Why are they right here right now? Well, as Farm says, the group is unfinished. They need one final piece of their puzzle to truly feel complete, and that is the person who has battled Lex more than anything else, well, Superman. Only here's the rub, they're not asking Superman to join them, they're telling him, and if he doesn't do it, they're going to take out their rage on the entire city. And so that was Superman issue number 10, everybody, and once again, I thought this was another rip-roaring, high-flying, fun-as-hell superhero adventure. I love the Wild West DC deep cuts that Joshua Williamson gives us here. I love finally getting to learn Marilyn Moonlight's origin story. I don't say this all the time, but I think the character actually has a great design and has some really strong spin-off potential should they want to take it in that direction. It's also cool to finally figure out 10 issues in what exactly it is Farm and Graft want. We know they hate Luthor with a burning passion, and that they see Superman as this ultimate feather in their cap is just a really interesting motivation for a group of villains, and also calling them the Lex Luthor Revenge Society. Mwah, what a fun callback to the Superman Revenge Society. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. Superman under Joshua Williamson has been just a blast recently, and I can't wait to see what he does in the next arc. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.